Hi there.
Hi, Haley. I'm Ariana. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. How are you doing?
Good. How are you feeling? I heard you got injured.
I did. I accidentally hurt a few of my ribs, unfortunately. So I've been out of the show for a few days.
Well, I hope you feel better. That sucks. I'm
I
sorry.
do. I'm excited. I get to come back tonight. So
Oh, that's awesome. That's great. So I was super excited to talk to you because I went to Michigan as well for undergrad.
nice. Go blue, go blue.
Yes, and you're currently a student there. Like, how do you balance being on tour and still being a student?
Yeah, it's really hard. It's a lot of online classes. I didn't take online classes this past semester, but I'm hoping to with having been on the road for a few months, this upcoming semester take some transfer courses and or maybe some at U of M and figure it all out now that I've had, some feet on the ground and running. Um, to be able to get back into class and be able to complete my degree. But at the same time, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. So it's a win-win either way.
Yeah. What made you decide to do the Michigan Musical Theater program?
Oh, they're so amazing. I didn't even want to audition for Michigan in the first place because they have such a large reputation for being so good, and I really doubted myself. But I did it anyway because the worst that can happen is they can say no. And so I did it, and I got in, and then I came and visited, and I met all the students, and it just was the place for me.
Awesome. Where are you originally from?
Dallas, Texas.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to the cold as you've known for quite some time at this
Whew,
point.
this blizzard, I tell you, this blizzard.
Yeah. So you played Fontaine. Your performance was amazing, but just so sad.
Yes. Oh, so you got to see it.
Yes, I saw it last Wednesday. So I saw it, yes.
Oh
So
my
right
gosh,
before you were out. So I saw you.
that's insane. Did you see like the night performance, I'm guessing?
Yes, yes,
So that
yes.
was the performance I got hurt. Oh
Oh,
no.
I didn't know at all. So you played it off well, and I feel
Oh,
like a
brilliant.
rib bruise is intense. But you were amazing. And that was actually like the first time I've seen any version
Yeah.
of Les Mis. So you're like Fontaine to me. But what is it like, especially as a woman of color, to play this role who is traditionally played by a white
Mm.
woman?
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of pressure. It's I remind myself that it's not about making it something because it has to be a certain way. Just naturally through life, because I have a different lived experience, the perspective I bring to this character is going to be different. And that's just a matter of fact. And so it's a huge honor to get to do this because of who I am and the people that get to see me do it. There's a lot of young artists who were like me and didn't foresee this being their future because that's just not the space that is usually held for us. And so for them to get to see me do it, and be successful in following my dream, and for them to think that they or believe they can do the same rather, is a very honorable thing.
What do you think you uniquely, in your perspective, bring to the role of Fontaine?
Um, That's such a good question, because I've always wondered that because everyone says, if your Fantine is so different, like it's a very different version of Fantine. I think I bring a much younger presence to her since I'm only 20 years old. Um, I think I definitely have a more modern approach or contemporary approach, whatever you want to call it, to the character. Just because I am so young and um, what I have lived as a Gen Zer and a woman of color in these past, 20 years of my life is very different than anyone has experienced. We all have our own unique lived experiences, and I think that's the perspective I bring.
Yes. So Fontaine lives such a hard life. How do you create that boundary of playing such a sad role and not have that leak into your day-to-day life that you're just sad all the time because of your
Yeah.
character's life?
That is so real, especially like I really enjoy committing to it because I want to make it good and I want to make every show fun for me because I feel like just throwing in the towel, like that's not fun for me and it's not challenging for me or rewarding in any way. And so I'm always really committed. But the downside to that is like, how do we pull away from that commitment in real life? And I've discovered that, you know, my time with Les Mis is my time with Les Mis, and my regular life is my regular life. Like, I'm a person who loves routine, morning routine, night routine, and I have to keep hobbies during the day. I love reading and, doing these normal things that I do in my life to keep myself, going and keep myself having my own individualism. Um, but it's also really nice. My track, it's hard, it's like gusto for 45 minutes, but then as soon as I come off, I have 45 minutes of rest time, which is really nice. And during that break I eat dinner before I have to come back disguised as an ensemble character. So it's nice to like really get in there and really do it, and then like as soon as it's done, it's done, and I can relax and get back to myself and have again another routine. I eat my dinner during that break, and um, then I'm on as a barricade person. And of course, it's like a very different thing. It's not as sad as Fantine for sure, but yeah, I would say that's how I keep it nice and balanced.
Yeah, it's crazy that like Fantine like really sets the entire story and then she's just gone and dead. Like it was the first time I saw it and I was like, so she's dead? Like that's it? But she propels all of it and she has such heavy sings, so many songs. And then it must be nice to be then in the ensemble that you kind of can see how all of her actions played out for decades to come.
For
Uh,
sure.
what would you say is your favorite song in the musical? It can be yours, it doesn't have to be.
Oh, I love, love, love Empty Chairs at Empty Tables.
Mm.
And I love our Marius's rendition of it, Gregory Lee Rodriguez. He's amazing. I love that song. And I also, ooh, I mean, I have to say, I think that I know I'm biased, all right, but the poeticness of I Dreamed a Dream, I think is written very beautifully. And so that's a close second.
I would say that's my first. I
Yeah.
loved it. It was just so sad. And then like you meet her daughter. It's so much, man. It's so much. But you say that you're a routine person.
Mhm.
Um, and of course you're on tour, which I feel like is probably like one of the hardest things for a routine person because you're only
Mhm.
in places for so long. Is there something that you try to do in like every city you visit?
Yeah, I collect stickers and postcards from every city we go to. I also have this Polaroid scrapbook that I've been working on since the beginning of tour, like via rehearsal time. Um, yeah, it's so exciting getting to do what we do. It's like it's not necessarily traveling for free because we're still working, but there's so many places that I've gone to that I would have never gone to given I wasn't on tour. And I always try and hit up like the number one tourist spot or something that I want to see. Like when we were in Minneapolis, I went to Paisley Park, which is Prince's home, and that was like the funnest day ever. Went to Mall of America, spent an entire day there last week, and I think in Detroit, I'm gonna try and head over to the art museum. Motown, I think, is closed right now, but I've been there before. See, Detroit is harder because I was in Ann Arbor,
Yeah.
so I've already been. I feel like to these places anyway.
That's awesome. And I know when you guys are on tour that you guys only have maybe like two small suitcases. Are there things that you have to bring that you
Whew.
are essential to you?
Yes, there are a few things that help survival. Pictures are a big one because, moving city to city and never having like a home is really hard. And so trying to make it as homely as possible. I have pictures of my families and friends and loved ones. And I also travel with a tiny elephant from Senegal. Because elephants are my favorite, and it's all about the thought,
Hmm.
home. um I also actually travel with these wall plug-in things, and I keep the same smell so that it kind of like is a familiar feeling.
What's your
I
scent?
Sandalwood.
It's consistent.
consistent. It's classic. Why not?
Yes.
Um, my comfy. Have you ever heard of those?
I don't think so.
It's like a massive hoodie made out of a blanket.
Oh, I saw that on Shark Tank.
Yes, 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 yes. That is another essential for me. Tea kettle, blanket. I'm a very cozy person. You can't tell. But yeah, I would say those are my I have to have and I refuse to get rid of no matter how much space it takes.
So you're a book person. Have you
Mhm.
committed to a Kindle, or do you still just have physical books with you?
All right. My mom said I should get a Kindle, and it's just not the same for me. It's not the same. I tried it when I was younger because I've always loved reading, and I just never used it because I just love holding a book. But it's probably like the worst things to like carry all of these books with me. As soon as I see my parents, I'm like, "Here's 5 books I finished since the last time I saw you. Please take them home."
Do you get to see them on tour kind of fairly often?
Usually, it was actually really fun. My mom last week, the timing worked out so perfectly. She had to be in Minneapolis for work. And so we got to spend just a weekend together, but it was still so fun that I even got to see her. Um, and my dad, he often likes to come out every other month because he's a big supporter, big fan.
That's so sweet. Do you have
Yeah,
any siblings?
I do. I have a twin brother and an older sister.
Oh, is
Yeah.
your twin brother into musical theater or just like the complete opposite?
I mean, whatever is even further than the complete opposite. That's what he is.
You shared a womb and that was it.
That
That
was
was
it.
it.
It ended there.
Awesome. Well, what was the last book you read?
Oh my gosh, what was the last book I read? The last book I read was The Silent Patient.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's about this woman who this is graphic, but she kills her husband and then she remains silent for years. And there's a psychologist that comes in and tries to figure out why she did it and try and gets her to speak. And it's a very good book. I highly recommend. It was one of my favorite reads this year.
Awesome. Yeah, I definitely see the Les Mis, the
Oh, it's
darkness,
gross.
the theater of it all. I definitely can see that. But thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. This was so much fun. And I'm glad you're finally getting to perform again. And I hope your ribs are okay.
Yes, I know. Hey, I hope so too.
Yeah, but I'm glad I got to see it. Now it's even more special for me. But definitely, I can't wait to talk to you about future projects. I can't wait to
Yes.
see you graduate. I'll connect with you on social media. But thank you so much for talking to me, and I hope to talk to you soon.
Thank you. This is awesome. And happy holidays and happy new year.
Awesome. Same to you. Thank you so much.
Bye bye.
Bye.